The reality is that always being able to outperform and outshine and outlast not necessarily the others, but particularly ourselves, obviously personally, individually, is very difficult, chaotic, hard, painful, anyways. Not because we cannot do this, but because we just don't want to defeat ourselves. We just don't want to better improve, grow our habits, characters, behaviors, perceptions, actions, ambitions, conflicts, anyways. We just want to be able to constantly compete against the others. We want to be better than the others' actions, judgments, opinions, thoughts, because we also, in turn, are constantly trying to live up to not only the others' judgments, opinions, thoughts, but also we're trying to literally fulfill all the social, outside, institutional demands, expectations, obligations, desires, responsibilities, anyways, that are all arbitrary, unreasonable, that we never asked for, we never really signed up for either in the first place. But we must have been our first and last competition. We must have always engaged and performed and executed self competition and self teaching and self education and self betterment at every step of the way. Alongside, we must have developed self knowledge, self understanding, self respect. We must have cultivated integrity, morality, character, virtue, authenticity, and we must have recognized and removed our self inflicted limitations. We must have integrated our shadow, recognized our unconscious content, and confronted and acknowledged and embraced all the inward darkness and internal demons and inner evils from which we're suffering and struggling, and which we always repress and refuse to see in ourselves in one way or another. But instead of basically achieving self overcoming and self competition and self teaching to better ourselves than the previous versions, at every step that we started competing against the others, we started comparing ourselves against and with basically much more successful, powerful, and wealthy, privileged, advantageous, fortunate people, and that cause a depression, dejection, frustration, sadness, inferiority complex, anyways, in one or another. So that is the thing, that our basically goal must always be to grow individually, personally, and not basically seeking more growth than the others. The others are in their lives, that is their problem, and we are our problem. We must always try to grow ourselves personally and individually. We must be always trying to outgrow, outperform, outlast ourselves, our abilities, powers, habits, and other faculties, so that we can actually arrive at betterment, achievement, and eventually achieve transformation, transcendence in our lives alongside greatness in one word. Now, that is what we must have done. We have done quite the opposite. We have sought basically comfort